Guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna be telling the story of how I was robbed. I'm gonna actually take you guys to where it all started so I could actually show you guys where I was at, and then from there I'll make my way down home. So this is where the story starts. It was February of 2013. It was on a Monday at around 4 p.m. I got dropped off because I had to complete this book report for English class, right? And at home we didn't have any Wi-Fi. Well, McDonald's had a Wi-Fi. I didn't have my phone. I didn't have service either. So I came to McDonald's, right, to complete my book report, and I was basically done with it. And I took about 3 hours. But you know, I ate and I took my time. I was eating at the tables where the playground's at, right? And then this guy walks in. And I look over and he looks really familiar, and I was like, where the hell do I know this person from? And then he sits down at the table next to me with some little girl. He had shown up in some golf cart, and then the workers come in. They were like, hey, are you Timothy Bradley? Like, yeah. And then the worker's like, can I take a picture? And he was like, nah, not right now, man. I'm with my daughter. Like, I'm just trying to enjoy this time, you know? And the worker's like, oh, all right. And I was like, what the heck? This is Timothy Bradley. He fought Manny Pacquiao, you know, so he was known. He was popular, and it was the first time I had seen him in the Valley. After that day, I saw him like 4 times again, but that was the first time I had seen him. So I was excited. I continued eating. I just tried to give him his space. It was like around 7:30 that I left. You know, everything that I was using, I put it into my backpack, and then I started walking home. So that's the McDonald's right there. And I crossed the street, I jaywalked. The sidewalk is right over there. So then I walked up. And then the bridge is over there. This is Jackson Street. So I had to walk all the way down Jackson Street until I hit Avenue 44. And then once I hit Avenue 44, I had to make a right. So I was walking and everything was all chill. I remember I was listening to No Love by Lil Wayne. Yeah, I don't know if these guys saw me at some point as I was walking down the street, or I'm not sure if they just bumped into me. Once I hit Avenue 44, I kept walking straight down and then got near a meat market. But then as I got near to the meat market, I saw 2 guys coming towards me. There was this tree, but the tree was kind of big and I couldn't see their head, you know, because the tree was that low. They kind of looked like thuggish, you know, and I was like, oh shit, I got scared. So what I did, I was like, you know what, I'm going to the meat market real quick so I could let these guys pass by. I was craving some chupamais, which are Mexican chips. As I was getting to the store, the guys kept walking towards me. One of the guys stayed at the sidewalk and the other one followed me into the store. I already knew what I was gonna get, so I just grabbed the chips real quick. The guy just went around the meat market, which is, it's not big inside. He just went around, he looked at me, and then he walked outside. And I was like, all right. Right before I stepped outside, I looked out the door. It's a clear glass door, and it looked like the guys kept walking the way they were walking. So I was like, okay, they're gone. So I stepped outside and then I started walking, right? I opened the chips, started eating them, and about a minute later, I hear running in my head, you know. Within like a split second, I was like, what's going on? Is there like little kids playing tag around here? I was near apartments, you know, and a lot of little kids live there, but it was already like, it was pitch black already, like you couldn't see anything. I look back and I see the 2 guys, that I had just seen previously. I see them running towards me, and in my head I was like, oh shit. I clenched my whole body. I was like, fuck. I was like, this is it. Within that split second, and they were like running towards me, so I only had like 2 seconds to react. But I didn't react. I was shocked. As soon as I looked back, they were reaching in. Both of the guys were reaching in, and they kind of like put their head down, and then they came back up, and then both of them took out a gun. The one who walked in to the store with me, it was like,
what's up, homie? Where the fuck you from? Where the fuck you from, dog?
I was like, nah, I don't bang.
He was like, where the fuck you from, dog? It's in my hood.
I was like, nah, I don't do that shit. I was really scared. The guy who was commanding everything, he put the gun right in my forehead. It was a revolver. And the other guy who had stayed at the sidewalk, he had a black pistol, and he put it in the back of my head. So I couldn't move. They were screaming at me. I was like, nah, you know, I was just trying to like cooperate with them. And within like 7 seconds, it turned into a robbery.
Like, give me all your shit.
In my backpack, I had to put my phone. So I was taking off my backpack, and then the guy in front of me, he just snatched it, and he was like,
where the fuck's your phone?
And I was like, it's in there. I was like shaking inside. When this happened, my mind just went completely blank. I couldn't think about anything. I just thought about my mom. I was like, wow, this is the last time my mom ever saw me alive. Everything around me seemed like it was so far away, and I felt trapped in this little circle. Like, I felt stuck. I felt like if I were to run, like I wouldn't make it anywhere. My mind was just panicking at the time. You know, I was trying to keep calm and cooperate with them. And the guy was like,
where the fuck's your phone?
he had already snatched my backpack and he had to put it in the ground. Like, it's right there. I pointed. I was like, it's right there. It's right there. He just kept patting me. The whole time the guns were pointed at my head. They're like,
we're gonna fucking shoot you.
and I was like, what the fuck? Like, these guys are serious. They were threatening my life. They were telling me they were gonna kill me. Like, I was about to take off my hat, you know, because they were like telling me,
Give me everything you have. Give me all your shit.
they fucking snatched it off too. Just fucking patting me down everywhere. I had some cargo shorts on and I thought like it was over, and then he's like,
Give me your fucking shoes.
like, I just kicked them off. I had some Adidas on, some high tops, and I just kicked them off, and then I just kind of like threw them there. I took off my shirt. Like, I was like, I don't have anything on me, like no chains, no nothing. Like, that's all I have, you know. I was trying to tell them, I was trying to communicate that I was vulnerable that I didn't have anything on me, like nothing. Like, that was it. In my head, I was like, how the hell do I get these guys to leave? And the guy who's commanding everything, he picks up the shirt. I was 16 at the time, and then he fucking throws it at my face, and he's like,
get the fuck out of here.
but these guys had like a super aggressive tone. Like, he's like,
if I ever see your ass out here again, you're gonna get blown. You're gonna get blown.
he's like,
Turn the fuck around. Don't fucking look back.
and then I just saw the guys like getting everything from the ground that they had taken from me. They kind of like put it like this, you know, like a football, and then they just ran off. They ran off into the darkness. There was a street right there, so I just ran down the street. I felt like Forrest Gump, running, just running. Like, I couldn't feel myself. I felt so light. I felt like I was in a dream. I couldn't feel nothing, you guys. I was running down the street, and then there was this van with the back door open or whatever. There was a lady and some girl. They were taking down some like groceries. Like, I had my shirt off still. It was in my hand, and I was running like that, and they just laughed at me as I was running by. In my head, I just felt like crying because I was really scared. Yeah, I got home. I told my dad, and I was all out of breath. I was like, I just got jacked. I just got robbed. He was like, what, where? You know, I really don't want to go into more detail, but the next day I had to go to class, right? I was just gonna keep it to myself, but once I got to third or fourth period, I had to turn in my report, and I didn't have it with me because they took everything, and I stayed after class. I told the teacher, I was like, I completed my work, but I don't have it with me because I got robbed last night. He's like, are you serious, man? And I was like, yeah, I was walking home and I got robbed. He called the police officer, and I walked in or whatever. You know, the rest is confidential, but it was really scary, you guys. That next morning that I woke up, it felt like I had been born again, because my life was literally at their fingertips. All they had to do was this motion, and my life would have been like gone, you know. Before that, my mom would always tell me, don't walk the streets, don't walk out in the streets, don't be out there late at night, don't be by yourself, don't be doing this, don't be doing that. And I was the type of person who didn't care at all. I'll just be like, nah, I'm good, I'm good, nothing's gonna happen, you're crazy, just leave me alone, everything's gonna be good. And as it happened, I just thought about my mom. This is life, I'm not invincible. Back then I had this other mentality, like I didn't care, I just didn't care. You know, I didn't sympathize with anything, I didn't have compassion for anything. And after that happened, like, my mind just started changing. That's part of the reason why I went vegetarian too. Like, I just got compassion for animals. And the crazy part is that the next day during lunch, I told one of my classmates, Victor, who was in my Spanish class, I was like, hey bro, I got jacked yesterday. 6 days later, that guy passed away. I didn't understand it. And like, it just made me realize that life was really fragile. You guys, that's the story. That's all I have for you guys. You guys take care. You guys have a good one. I'll see you guys next time.